A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, Iranian and US negotiators are set to resume crucial talks in Rome aimed at resolving a decades-long dispute over Tehran's nuclear ambitions. This fifth round of discussions comes despite warnings from Iran's supreme leader that reaching a new deal may prove insurmountable due to conflicting red lines. The stakes are incredibly high for both nations, as President Donald Trump seeks to limit Iran's capability to develop a nuclear weapon, a move that could potentially ignite a regional arms race. Conversely, Iran is desperate to lift the crippling sanctions that have severely impacted its oil-dependent economy. The negotiations, which will be mediated by Oman, will see Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi and Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff engage in dialogue. The talks have been characterized as both direct and indirect, with both parties publicly adopting tough stances over Iran's uranium enrichment activities. While Iran insists that the discussions are indirect, U.S. officials have indicated a different narrative. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio recently commented on the complexities of the negotiations, stating that Washington aims to reach an agreement allowing Iran to maintain a civil nuclear energy program without the enrichment of uranium. However, he acknowledged that achieving such a deal would be challenging. The crux of the matter lies in the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's rejection of U.S. demands to halt uranium enrichment, labeling them as excessive and outrageous. This has raised concerns about the likelihood of the talks yielding positive results. Among the key obstacles in the negotiations is Iran's refusal to export its stockpile of highly enriched uranium or to discuss its ballistic missile program. While Iran has expressed a willingness to accept certain limitations on uranium enrichment, it insists on receiving ironclad guarantees that the U.S. will not backtrack on any future nuclear agreement. Since February, Trump has intensified his maximum pressure campaign against Iran, following his withdrawal from the 2015 nuclear pact with 6 world powers in 2018. The reimposition of sweeping sanctions has wreaked havoc on Iran's economy, prompting the country to escalate its uranium enrichment activities far beyond the limits set by the original agreement. The potential fallout from a failure in the talks could be catastrophic. While Iran maintains that its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes, Israel, Iran's long-standing adversary, has made it clear that it will not permit Iran to develop nuclear weapons. Araqi has warned that if Israel were to attack Iranian nuclear facilities, Washington would bear legal responsibility for such actions, especially in light of reports suggesting that Israel may be preparing strikes on Iran. As tensions continue to rise over Iran's uranium enrichment, sources indicate that the clerical leadership in Tehran lacks a clear strategy should the current negotiations collapse. The upcoming talks in Rome are particularly significant as they precede a June meeting of the UN nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, and the impending expiration of the 2015 Accord in October. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, which aimed to allay Western fears regarding Iran's nuclear intentions, was effectively dismantled when Trump withdrew from the agreement and reinstated sanctions. In response, Iran has ramped up its nuclear activities, now enriching uranium to 60%, substantially higher than the 3.67% cap established by the JCPOA, yet still below the 90% threshold required for a nuclear weapon. Analysts suggest that Iran is unlikely to concede to U.S. demands to halt its nuclear enrichment activities. Political scientist Mohammad Marandi, who has previously advised on nuclear issues, stated, "If the U.S. expects Iran to halt nuclear enrichment, then there can't be a deal." The Atomic Energy Organization of Iran has reported that the nation's nuclear industry currently employs around 17,000 individuals, underscoring the significance of the nuclear program to Iran's economy and national pride. As the clock ticks down to the commencement of the talks in Rome, the world watches with bated breath, aware that the outcome could have profound implications for regional stability and international relations. Will diplomacy prevail, or will the long-standing divide between Tehran and Washington lead to further escalation? Only time will tell as both sides navigate this complex and high-stakes negotiation landscape. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.